guys, so we are live. So what's up, guys? It's Mr. T coming at you live from NYC. Welcome back to Convos, our podcast over here at TimTalks. And hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Now, it's been quite a bit since I recorded an episode because I've been so busy with other things over on YouTube as well as Instagram. So again, I do apologize, guys, if I may sound a little bit rusty when it comes down to doing the podcast. But hey, I'm going to try my best to catch up on that. Also, you guys have still been sending comments. So again, that's really appreciated about everything that you guys are doing to help make this thing grow. And so I want to appreciate you all by saying thank you all so much. Again, every single time that I open up on the episode, I'm going to go ahead and share that with all of you because we're coming far and we're growing strong, right? So again, thank you guys and welcome to another episode. And you guys probably saw the title, discussing, immorality. And no, I don't mean immortality. I mean morality. So if you guys don't know what morality means, it means, just the ability to be, right or wrong and to understand what's right and wrong, right? So with that in mind, again, this sounds like a pretty professional topic, but I don't want to make it so because, based on the person's comment, again, you guys have been sending over the comments and I want to thank you guys so much for everything that you're doing to share your own opinion, let your voice be heard, and, that's how we roll over here, right? I hope you guys are also enjoying the memes as well as those small truths, those community posts that I've been doing. Again, I wouldn't be doing that if not for the fact that I thought that it might help you guys and also give you guys some, sharing you guys over here on the channel and just letting other people know that, hey, there's other creators out there. Why not check them out? See what's up, see what's been happening, and just help grow the YouTube community. It's not always about the big players. It's always also about, ourselves and, how devoted are we and how do we want to grow on our platforms, right? So there's that. So again, back over to what this person left over here. So again, this comment sounds kind of unusual in terms of the topic, but let's think about that for a bit, right? So we know that the new gen, right? We got a lot of stigmas. We got a lot of hate and we got a lot of people just wanting to, bash our heads in and say, hey, what are you doing? Or is there any hope for us, right? And, it sucks as well because I know that we can definitely make a difference in the world. And I have no doubt about that other people are capable of different things. And, sometimes it's just that one change or that one opinion that's so BS to the point where people actually believe it, right? So again, when it comes down to our gen, again, I feel as though, this is my own personal opinion, right? So I feel as though we're not immoral per se, there's no such thing with regards to just one generation being immoral. Every gen is gonna have something to do with that, right? People are capable of good and bad, we can do that. But the problem is that all it takes is just that one comment that becomes like a stigma and other people believe it. You know what I mean? So again, there's that issue there. And that's why when you think about, for example, the new gen, let's say millennials, Gen Zs, right? Mostly people think of no, they're not going to make it. They're not going to be successful as, the baby boomers or whatever, right? And it's not true, right? I know that in my heart, and I believe it wholeheartedly, that every gen is capable of doing different things. It's just that there's more of us and we think of it more as like a competition. When actually, if we just do something that makes us stand out and we believe what it is, we believe who we are, then there's no problem with that, right? We definitely can do so much more, but the problem is that people tend to look at it in a different way, right? So again, to anyone out there who feels as though they can't make it in the world, my first thing I want to say is that you can. My tone may not capture it, but you can. And I believe wholeheartedly that you will make it in the world, all right? But back over to the comments. So this is what the person left me. So sometimes I wonder if it's true if our gen's effed up. No, I'm going to censor that, all right? At least that's what my parents say, at least. Too much tech, they said. Not doing anything, they said. I know it's BS, but I'm actually starting to believe it. Are we really that effed up, right? So, really when we think about it, right? Have you guys had those parents before who, for example, let's say you're not doing anything, for example, for 5 seconds and say, hey, they say, what are you doing, right? You're doing nothing. Right? And, it's very strange within just a couple of seconds how you can tick off a person just because you're not doing anything, right? It's just so weird to see that happen, and it's still unusual to this day for me personally, because to tell you guys the truth, I'm not the laziest person, and actually I can get lazy, but whenever I'm down to doing something, I'm gonna do it, right? And I'm not gonna do it in the way where like I try to push other people away, and that's something I'm still trying to compete with to this day, so forgive me for that, guys. But that's my admittance, that's the truth about me. And as for everyone else, again, sometimes, you get that feeling when another adult figure or someone who guides you thinks that you're doing nothing just by sitting or by standing still or whatever, right? And they kind of question. And again, it's part about being a person, and, it's part of just wanting to protect other people. And, I get that. I get why people would jump to that conclusion, right? But it's so strange how people can make these perceptions and make their own judgments without so much as someone lifting a finger, And like, for example, when you're not moving, it's like, oh, you're lazy. Or for example, when you're busy playing video games, it's like, oh, you're doing nothing. Or for example, let's say you're just taking a break from doing your homework and it's like, oh, you got to get back to work. That's effed up. That's the part where, again, it gets very annoying to hear. And again, I'm all about being unbiased and all about being just, in the middle in terms of that. But that's where it starts to get kind of ridiculous because, like I said, people can get tired. And, I read this in a study before, and I read in a book, an article, and actually many things before. And it said how with the new gen, there's always this issue where, again, they have that self-doubt and that emotional distress. And, that's because of the fact that people tend to put that stigma against the new gen and think that they can't make it when all the opportunities were taken. And again, that's honestly disheartening just to think that people would believe that. But it has happened. And again, it is frustrating just to want to hear that and just to let it happen and let it ride where, oh, it's that one bad comment and then people will let it slide. But that's not the case because, again, what I noticed is that the new gen, that's us, is that we're very, very attached and we get very emotional because that's actually basic human decency, That's basic human principle, It's just that emotions run rampant, right? Because it's true that other people have hardened as a result of like, you gotta work, you gotta go to school, you gotta do this, you gotta go to college, you gotta take care of the bills, you gotta take care of these responsibilities, right? And, I get that. The issue there is that, with the new gen who doesn't have to focus on that too much in the beginning because of the fact that, again, all the opportunities were there and they can take it however they so please, they focus on their passion. And that's where the problem lies is because, like I said, people can get jealous, especially with figures who feel as though they worked for a living and then they don't get the chance to reap the rewards and they take it out on their children or whatever. And, that's messed up, right? And I'm not saying it's not unwarranted, but I'm saying that it happens and it's just unacceptable, Again, another person's life is their own life, right? And it's up to us as people, to guide others. And that's what I noticed with Gen Z and millennials is that, amongst everything, right? And amongst all these things, and it seems as though we look like a lost gen, with whatever, like TikTok or Instagram or whatever. But hey, this is coming from a person who uses those things and is working to build a family out of all of that. And that's where, we have that issue, we have that issue where we are doing something and we understand where our morals lie, if we have to fight for what we believe in, right? If we have to fight for, to protect ourselves, to fight for rights or all those kind of things, right? Again, we will fight for it because we know what's right and what's wrong, right? And even if we don't get it straight at first, we listen and tune into other people because, that's our gen, our gens are very social. We're very connected and we feel that we want to do things together, right? And again, to say that we're immoral as a gen, it's very stupid in my opinion because it's just a couple of comments justifying a whole gen of people, a whole generation of wonderful, beautiful, kind and generous people who outside of, for example, in NYC, I've seen students, they're crammed into a building that's meant for 2,000 when it's double the amount of students. That's frustrating, and it gets out of line, and then you expect them to want to get out, just make a statement that, hey, the conditions here are awful, and with everything that's going on, you can't even have room to breathe. So, but outside of those walls, and I've talked to those students, I've talked to people who are younger than me, and I admit that I'm getting older, but then I talk to them and then they're fine outside of the walls. Apart from the usual, like, oh, you go through puberty, you go through adolescence, right? The drama, so to speak, and all that stuff. But outside of that, outside of those walls, I see hope. I see the abilities, I see passion. I see people doing what it is that they do. And, also part of the reason why I've seen students maybe not go home right away is because maybe they found something outside of the house. People, when they stay away from the home, it's because something's happening in the home. It's basic common sense, right? So again, we have an understanding of morality. We have an understanding about what it is that, ticks people off and what's right and what's wrong. And, we look at it in a way that, again, we don't want to hurt anyone. We're not sadists. When we're born, we ain't born to kill. We ain't born to do those kind of things, right? Everything we learn is from what we've learned in the past, right? And so, again, back to this person's comment. I'm sorry if I went on it's already been 11 minutes. But, again, I just want to mention that because I want to emphasize how awful it is. It's not fair as well to blame another generation for another thing, And again, just because that one person started it off doesn't mean that they are entitled to everything, People live, people move on, right? And I don't want to say it in a way that's downtrodden, or I don't want to say it as in I'm like dramatic or anything, but it happens, right? Generations come and they go, and if this is our gen and we're gonna be the ones to hold on to the world, right, we might as well have learned what's right and what's wrong. And again, with social media now, it can be pretty obvious, and at times as well, we also have to be careful, right? But over again to the comment, first off, if you wondered, whoever the he or she or whoever left the comment, again, if you feel as though our generation's effed up, it depends on what way you look at it, right? So again, if we're looking at it from someone's unbiased and neutral point of view, right? Our gen, of course, we always have something that's unique with us, right? Again, our gen is unique in how we earn. We can earn through Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, right? And again, that's fine. You build a career on that, and as long as you continue to hone in on different skills, I have no issue with that. There's literally no problem when it comes to doing what you love. Passion is just there. It's there, and only you as the person can understand what the heck it is, right? And so, to say that we're messed up again, or if other people have said we're messed up again, there's a big problem there. Because again, it's all about what we're seeing when you see, like, for example, bullying. It's still here. It hasn't changed. It's still happening, right? It's still going on. And also, if you see crime, and then drugs and all those things, right? You got to also think about how they got there in the first place, right? What convinced a person to go for crime? What convinces a person to take drugs and all those things, right? And just because it's more available now, it's not because of that. It's because it's been legalized. I've seen marijuana been legalized, and again, that's your own debate or whatever. I have my own opinion about it, but again, if it's legal, it's for use. People can just do it, right? Same thing with alcohol. I mean, before marijuana, before the Mary Jane, you got alcohol, and I'm even more against that, in my own opinion. Again, but it's your own opinion as well. But again, I'm even more against that because I had some horrible memories. And even then, old gen's been doing it, right? And to say that that's a problem, again, it's not unwarranted because it's been legalized, right? And all those things. And why do people turn to crime, when everything should be in their reach? Because not everything, right? It's not always fair for different people. So again, to judge that at face value. So whoever left this comment, right? If your parents had said that, again, that's their own perception, but we don't always have to believe that, right? Because, they're justifying, for example, who we are, and, that's it, right? That's what they put their basis on, and that's what they say is true. But again, unless they're really our gen, they have their own opinion, but we have our own, right? Only we ourselves can know how our gen looks like, right? And again, it's not to diss, for example, other figures. It's just that, there's more to things outside of the box, you know what I mean? Right? So again, before I go on break, before I go on to the radio, again, I just want to say to everyone out there, I don't want to offend any gen, older or newer. It's just that, to justify a generation because of one or two or three things, right? Again, it's messed up to think that, to lose hope in that gen, Same myself with parents, Sometimes we can drop it, but sometimes we still have hope that maybe they might change, That's why we always stick close to them. And sometimes, again, you have your own opinion. You stick around with them because they give you support, or you stick around because you love them. Again, that's your own opinion. But I'm just saying that, when it comes down to justifying generations, there's a very fine line in doing that. But to give up hope on a generation, that's where we cut it off. Because I have hope, like, wholeheartedly, that ain't true. We're always going to be able to move forward, and we're always going to be able to learn from each other. It's just the matter of, like, how the hell we're going to do that. But, before I get into that, I just want to go ahead and play something on the soundtrack, bumper. Again, I want to play something over on the radio. Again, let me know what you guys think. You guys can check out the description if you want to know where that song is. Again, it's from Vlog No Copyright Music. Take a listen. Alright guys, so we are back. And so guys, I hope you guys enjoy what was on the radio. Again, I love the soundtrack makers. I love those people who record them, sing along with them, and just produce these awesome tracks. Again, shout out to those guys over there. They're an amazing channel, all right? But back to what I was saying about Gen Z, and not even Gen Z with the new gen, or any generation for that matter. It's horrible to just want to say and give your own opinion about saying I lost hope in this gen, because if we do, we ain't gonna move forward as a people. We ain't gonna move as if we got a purpose or if we got a passion that we gotta do, right? We want to fulfill. So again, to lose hope and to say one gen is effed up again, we got a big mistake there, right? Just because of the fact that if we don't open our minds to them, we ain't gonna move on as a people, So again, back to the comment again, it says here, this is what your parents said at the very least. And again, just respect their opinion, but you don't always have to believe it, Your parents, again, will always be a very important figure in many, many things. But, as you get older and as you start to justify and make your own decisions, right, it's up to you. If you know what's right and what's wrong, then you can override those advices, right? Because of the fact that, you understand that, hey, this is messed up, For example, if a parent's being racist, if a parent's being sexist, if a parent's being whatever is, right? Just because of the fact that, they have that own opinion, it doesn't have to be yours, a political party or whatever, right? It doesn't matter because that's not you, right? They're not always going to be there forever. They're always going to, things will move on and, their advices will always be in your heart, but also as well as in your heart is your life. Your life, your mind, your body, mind, and soul, that's you, right? And to let it ride to say that the new gen has nothing in store for them, big no-no, and I'm not saying that as if, to try and tone it down a bit, but I'm just saying that, Gen Z, you guys got this. Our gen, millennials, new gen, you got this, right? So also again, when they said too much tech, again, there's nothing wrong with too much tech. If not for tech, we wouldn't have the things that we have. For older people, we wouldn't be able to make the ramps for them to walk on. We wouldn't be able to give them the cell phones where we can keep in touch with them. We won't be able to have ATMs. We won't be able to have those kind of things if not for tech. And again, tech doesn't have to be practical. It's when we get creative with it that we start to see the value in it, And so with that in mind, again, to say that there's too much tech, again, just because you're on your phone for like 5 freaking seconds doesn't mean that you're addicted to it, Just because that, for example, you're watching TV and you're lying down on the couch or whatever, just chilling after school, doesn't mean that you're lazy, right? So again, with all that said and done, again, when it comes down to tech, it really helped us out a lot. And we have made our lives easier. We're able to live longer. We're able to do our passions, pursue them, love them, and do all those things and make a life that we wanted by tech. Like literally tech is how we get to work. Tech is literally how we do our jobs. Tech is literally how we get to order from Uber Eats when we are at a moment's notice, So again, tech has changed the world. And to have this one person or another, it doesn't have to be a parent. It can be any adult. To say that tech has not helped, take away everything. Because literally tech is in everything. Everything that from the building, your house that you're in, to the sidewalks that you walk on is because of the technology that we got, So again, cut that out, right? So, and also if they say not doing anything, it's again out of anger. And when it comes down to when someone is angry, they're not thinking straight. Seriously, like think of any person. Eventually, it's going to be less thoughtful and more just, I want to win the argument. You know what I mean? So again, just because that they're saying things out of anger, it's okay at the first bit, but then later on, it's just going to be more angry, right? It's just going to be more about that anger and less about the whole point of what the argument is in the first place, right? So again, just because you're not doing anything at that moment, it doesn't mean that you're not doing anything at all, So again, it's how they conveyed it. And again, I'm just basing it off of your comment. So I'm a trust that whatever you type here is not just for show. It's for, the fact that it happened, right? So, if you think that it's BS, it is in a way, right? So again, in a way that, for example, we have to consider our own parents' opinions or any adult's opinions just a little bit. If you know that it's completely BS, then leave it out. Throw it out the door. But if there's a bit of truth to it, then maybe we got to reflect on it. Because, if we don't, then we're totally falling for being immoral, because we don't think carefully, right? Why I have hope in the new gen is because they have the ability to convey their own opinion, but also the fact that we can hear each other out. You know what I mean? So again, just hearing other people out, that's very important. And just because that it goes against what we believe doesn't mean that we shouldn't listen. We gotta listen, and we gotta be careful. We gotta be understanding about other people. We also gotta be careful ourselves, with everything. Because, we wouldn't have the things that we have if we don't think and we don't talk about other people. We don't care about other people, So there's that as well. So again, the last thing that you put here, if you're starting to believe that our gen is immoral, you have your own opinion, but I'm going to just say that I don't believe that. I believe, in my heart and my body and my mind and my balls that literally the whole world thrives on the new gen because of the fact that, some people, again, older people can get envious because, again, they deserve the life that they should have because they earned, and they worked hard and they pushed through. Some people even survive wars just to get to where they are, right? So again, we gotta have that respect, respect to those who actually made a life, right? Who actually made their own lives in a much harder time, back when tech was not state of the art, back when tech was still difficult to get, and back when, it's all about earning money. And, that's the mindset that I want to try and get out of. Yeah, it's going to happen. And yeah, it's going to be, I got to face the sound of whatever, right? But again, for the time being, it's all about just wanting to build something that I know that other people will love and other people will enjoy, but also just what other people can, share a laugh with and just have fun with. Because honestly, it can be so easy to do that. It can be so understandable and people can be wonderful. It's just that paranoia and it's just that distrust that fuels our idea that people are immoral, and all those things, right? Sometimes before we judge other people, we got to look at ourselves and say, hey, am I thinking about this the right way? Am I thinking about it in a way that not for other people, but at least in my own heart that it's right, So again, you just have to be very careful with that, right? Think about it not from the mind, but from the heart. And above all, we're not effed up. We are not. And we are above all capable of doing many things in life. We can do so much more, and we have the potential to do so much more. The issue there is that, again, people try to put us down. But again, we let it ride and let it happen. Because eventually, if they try but they fail, they get pulled down, but we gotta be the one to pull them up, Because, again, we have hope, and I have hope as well that our generation, again, we will be the ones to take care of our parents. We will be the ones to say, hey, we made it. Hey, we did this, right? And it's all for you, right? And even till death do us part, right? And all those things, not to sound morbid or anything. But till that point, right? We gotta face that and know that we gotta be ourselves, We gotta be ourselves and know that the life is not for the sake of other people, right? Their lives are their lives, but our lives are ours. And above all, I have every bit of faith, I have every bit of hope that you will succeed. Older gen or new gen, we can all succeed together, It's just about stop trying to kill each other. Stop trying to bounce back and hurt each other and say, hey, I did this. What are you going to do? Ha, 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 right? There's no point in doing that, right? There's no point. And again, there's so much more that we have in store. And it's all about taking that one step forward and saying, hey, am I doing the right thing? It's such a powerful question. Are you doing the right thing? And then from there, think about it. Because it's all it takes, right? So again, that's going to be why did I butcher that? But anyway, so that's gonna be it for this episode of Convos. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Whoever left this comment really evoked a lot of emotion out of me. And again, even though the mic may not pick it up, because I'm literally using my iPhone, and I felt as though this thing has made me think about where I want to be and why I got down to podcasting, right? So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing, you're wonderful, and again, I have every bit of faith in every gen. And to say that Gen Z or the new gen is the worst gen, again, it ain't true. Because we have every ability, every opportunity to move forward, and it's all about taking that first step, all right? So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have been an awesome audience. You guys have any questions, again, leave it down in the comments. Again, if you want to check out the song, check out the description or my social media. Again, if you guys want to see more, again, check them out. I got my Instagram and it's going on strong. So again, that's the Memegram, where I post, short mental truth memes, something that, might give people a smile, So there's that. And as well, please go ahead and, what was I going to say? I forgot. But anyway, so again, please check out all of that. And if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to DM me, PM me if anything. You guys are an amazing audience. You guys, I love you all so much. It has been an honor. It's been a treat. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like, share, sub, and much love. This is Mr. T signing off over in NYC right now. Okay, so almost butchered that again. So thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you at the next episode, all right? Peace.